My name is Courtney Peak. I'm the head of support here at PreciseFP. Today's webinar is called Attract, Engage, and Delight Clients with PreciseFP. So we're going to show you how you can do all of that, really take a look at each of these kind of phases in turn and what you can do at really different points along the customer journey to really get positive results using things like web publish freemiums, surveys, and really so much more. So some of the main points that I'm going to be focusing on is kind of just that, just kind of going through these different phases of using PreciseFP to attract, engage, and delight your clients, starting with lead gen to maybe attract new prospects. And then we'll dive into how to engage the leads that you've earned and nurture them along the way. Then we'll talk about delivering specific and focused content, and then come full circle around keeping existing clients happy, keep engaging and delighting them using PreciseFP. So I am going to actually jump right into the PreciseFP dashboard here. Bear with me just a second. All right, so now we're looking at the PreciseFP dashboard here. So what I always like to show folks is I always like to start with our form library. A lot of times when I know me personally, when I speak with advisors and firms who are getting started with PreciseFP, or even maybe had some time on the platform, are just generally kind of curious about, how other advisors are using PreciseFP, especially those who have been incredibly successful with using the platform. And I always direct folks back to the form library, because those advisors that I personally work with that I see being successful, I really see them implementing more than one solution. A lot of times when I talk to folks, they know that we're about fact finding. That's really a predominant way that we see firms and advisors using us. But even if you take a look at the library, can really get a general sense of the different ways that you can go out here and use PreciseFP to engage your clients and prospects. And I think, and I hope, the purpose of this webinar, you'll be able to kind of take away some ideas how you can really go out there and, if you're not implementing some of the solutions that we talk about today, hopefully I give you some ideas and some inspiration to go out there and really kind of take advantage of what PreciseFP has to offer. Because the really cool thing, folks, is all of these templates that we have out here, they are included in the cost of PreciseFP. So you really have multiple solutions kind of built into one platform. And we're always trying to build out more content. That's actually something that we're going to be working on over the next couple of months, is we're actually going to be working on getting someone who is creating content. So there'll be more ideas that you can use and take advantage of, because again, these are all going to be included in the library here that you're not paying anything extra for. So let's go back to those steps. So attract, engage, and delight. So starting with attract. I see a lot of advisors who use PreciseFP as a lead gen. You may think, well, how do I get started? Where the heck do I get started? I will say, we do have a few lead gen pieces out here. What I typically see a lot of advisors do who are successful in lead gen is I see them using PreciseFP as a way to kind of give something back to these potential clients, right? And I see them publishing these forms that they may create on their websites, or they're maybe heavy into social media or LinkedIn even. Some advisors, I know that they research and write like blog posts that kind of reflect their clients' top priorities, maybe answer their questions, really kind of show your ability to meet their needs. Others, I've seen them publish guides or ebooks that showcase their knowledge and explore subjects in more depth than blog posts. So with that, What I see them do is I see them create a freemium to try to attract somebody to come in and give them their contact information. And on the flip side of that, they're giving that person something in return, whether it be something like, a blog post that they can click on and be directed to, or a guide that they can download. So we have 2 freemium templates that are out here that I just want to kind of focus on, but please keep in mind, folks, that any of these templates that I kind of talk about today, you can 100% customize. And you can even branch out and build out your own, which is so nice, which I have a lot of firms that do that. They maybe get inspiration from our library and just kind of turn around and create their own library. So unlimited customizations, unlimited templates, that's all included in the cost too. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. These are 2 that we created. Again, these have a bit of a freemium feel to them. So attracting the lead, but also in turn, giving them something in return to make them want to go out there and give you this basic contact information, because just this basic contact information is key, because then we can start continuing to engage with them, which is going to be kind of our next step there. But just envision something like this, right? Envision it maybe on an advisor's website. So they could take something like this and they could post it on their website. Create, maybe if they've got a web developer maybe builds like a special page that they can go to, or a fancy button, but you can do that all in PreciseFP, like create a button or an HTML link or a banner for your website to really make it stand out. So when people go to your website, this is really just kind of in their face and they want to fill this out, because maybe you've got some language around it that says, click here to find the 5 steps to early retirement. And they see this form and, it's got nice imagery to it. It's really kind of on point here. But what happens is after they fill out this basic information, a couple things happen for you. Well, one for them, one for you. You get that new person in PreciseFP as a prospect, and they get their freemium, which again could be something like a guide, which is what we have here. This is actually just content that we created. I'll open it here just so you can take a look at it. Basically just a PDF that they can take away and read about the 5 steps towards early retirement. So again, you guys could do something like this. If you are, already publishing guides or writing a blog post, turn it into something that could, in essence, create more business for you, attract these leads, get it out there as a freemium. So when they fill that out, again, they become a new prospect for you automatically in PreciseFP, even though they have just given you some very basic information. And the nice thing about that form too is it's low security. So they are not creating a login or an account or a sign up or anything like that to give you just that basic contact information. They're just getting their foot in the door, and they're also getting something in return. So that's something that I just wanted to kind of highlight that I've seen a lot of advisors do. We've got another one here. It's about the 5 biggest investor mistakes. Another really great freemium that we offer that you can, again, use as is, or you can customize. Now, the guide that we have isn't customizable, but you can scrap that and you can actually remove that. And if you want to just kind of use it as a base and work off of it, you can definitely do that. It's just a matter of coming out here and installing the template to your library, and then you can go out there and the sky's the limit from there. If you wanted to maybe change out the imagery of it. I do have a really great website that I personally use for images. So if you don't like our images, we don't have an image library, but one place you can go to get free, royalty-free images is this website here called Unsplash. They've got hundreds of thousands of images that are all free that you can download and you could use on your templates, which I've seen a lot of advisors do. So you could do something like that, change out the imagery, and then if you don't want to use like our guide, you can simply come out here and remove it, and then what we did is we basically created, in that case, if you've got like a PDF or maybe an ebook that you want them to download, you could use a document download element on the template. Basically, what you're doing is you're just choosing your document from your desktop, and then it builds a button, just like you saw previously. It just builds a button that they would click on, and it would download the guide or the ebook that you have. If you want to maybe direct them to like a blog post, or I've seen some advisors who are really big into podcasts. I know podcasts are huge right now. I've seen some advisors create a freemium with a podcast. So what they'll do is, in this case, they have a link maybe to a blog post or to a podcast that they did. And what they do is they come out here, and in PreciseFP on their freemium, they build a button. And in this case, just put in the link. And same thing, it would just be a button on the form that they would click on, and you put the label to say, click here to listen to so-and-so podcast, or click here to view this blog post about the 5 biggest investor mistakes. And then again, what happens is they're going to be directed to that website or to listen or download that podcast. But what you're getting is you got them in as a prospect. Now they are in PreciseFP, and all they did is they just filled out a very simple form. To learn more about web publishing, to really kind of get your forms out there on the web somewhere, you can do that under form templates. It's right under my templates, and basically you just come out here and choose your form template that you want to publish. And then as you can see here, we give you a multitude of different ways that you can go out there and publish your form for the website. So if you want to build like an iframe where it just lays the form right on your website, or like a bar that goes across the top or the bottom of your website, or a button, or an HTML link, or maybe you just want to do like a URL. I have some advisors who are really big into social media, Twitter to be exact. They take the link to their form, and they've got a lot of clients that follow them on Twitter. They got a pretty big following. LinkedIn is another really popular place that I see advisors be very active, and their clients and family and friends of their clients follow them. So they've got a big following. Or even if you're just trying to maybe send out like a mass emailing, maybe you've got a bunch of contacts, you could just grab a link to your form, which I've seen some advisors do that too. If they use something like maybe MailChimp or Constant Contact, or they've got all their contacts somewhere and they want to just blast everybody with this form, I've seen advisors go that route too. Some advisors, what I also see them do is they'll take a link and they'll put a link to their form in like their email signature. So in their email signature, it may say, click here to schedule a meeting with me. And it's just a PreciseFP form that they've created. Some advisors who do like seminars, what I'll see them do is they'll have like an iPad and they pull up their forms, like seminar form or what have you, and they have everybody that attends the seminar fill it out, and now they're created as contacts in PreciseFP. So just a lot of ideas out there that I've, again, over the years working here, have really seen some very interesting, very unique ways to use PreciseFP to try to attract new business. Next step in that whole process is engaging. So engaging is so important. You really have to think about how you're going to engage the leads that you've earned, and really kind of nurture them along the way. So what I've seen advisors do there, a couple of things to really kind of use PreciseFP to be sort of like this nurturing tool with forms here. One is using PreciseFP to kind of qualify and maybe segment out leads. For example, let me show you an advisor's website here. She uses PreciseFP as lead gen. She she actually has her web form published. This is her PreciseFP form that she's created and has published as an iframe on her website. She actually uses PreciseFP as a qualifier. So when they fill out this form based on some of the answers that they select, she's all custom created these here. Based on some of these, she uses this as a qualifier. So based on their answers, you know, that all comes into PreciseFP for her. And basically it tells her, you know, she can look at the completed forms that they filled out off of her website, and she can tell if they are going to be basically a good fit or not. To go a step further, we have this solution in PreciseFP called data quality that really kind of helps with that. What the data quality is it's basically a set of rules, and they can be customized. So it makes it so that PreciseFP basically calculates a data quality score for each client and prospect. So to calculate this score, the system actually uses a series of rules to identify basically incomplete or missing information in each account profile. So just envision, you know, maybe creating like a custom form, you put it on your website, and maybe you've got some custom fields out there. Well, you want to, you know, maybe not make the fields mandatory because you want to know if they are going to be a good fit or not, or maybe you do, I don't know, just kind of throwing out ideas here. Maybe you do make it mandatory, but maybe you just have based on, you know, their answers here, if they fill that out, you can say, you know, this rule here is incredibly important, right? So we're going to bump up the importance on this and make that, you know, a 10 out of 10. That's incredibly important. We need this information. If they don't give us this information, they're not going to be a good fit. I just use financial goals. This is what I have in mind. But that's just kind of what this does. It basically sets and calculates this score for each client and prospect. So you can have a data quality being run for both clients as well as for prospect accounts. And again, our data quality by default is based on FINRA KYC requirements, but you can come out here, and if you add new fields and you've got those on your form, well, you can come out here and you can look at your prospects and you can see when they actually complete the form what their data quality is. So like this person here, they're in the green. So that tells me, yeah, this person is actually a pretty good fit for me. I've got a lot of information on file. They're going to be a good fit. So just envision like maybe your custom fields out here, and if you see that you don't have that on file, well, maybe they're not a good fit. We don't want to move forward with them. But like, you know, if I look, I've got some that are not so good. Like this person doesn't have that high of a score. I only have out of my rules that I particularly have, I've only got their email. That's all that they've given me. I don't really have a lot of data on file. I could use that as a qualifier. So that is something that I've seen a lot of advisors kind of take advantage of too, using that data quality to really kind of show me if, you know, for prospects, if they're going to be, you know, a good fit or not. And then to kind of segue into the next bullet point that I wanted to kind of talk about under engage is being able to kind of use automation to kind of boost your efficiency and effectiveness. And you could ultimately use your data quality score, excuse me, got tongue-tied there, to be incorporated into our automatic workflow piece called pipelines, where it really allows you to automate your different kind of data gathering pieces going out to your clients so that these kind of steps are happening automatically for you, and they're not falling through the cracks. So with this, with our automatic workflow, again, it really just automates these things kind of happening for you. So you could, like I was saying, you could actually have the data quality be kind of part of that. And I'll show you here. Let me just build a flow. So I could say when the data quality score is maybe higher or equal to, we'll say 50, what do we want to happen? Well, maybe we want to engage them with the next form in our sequence. Or if their data quality score is maybe, lower than 50, what do I want to happen? Well, maybe I want to archive them. They're not a good fit. Based on, my data quality rules, they're not a good fit. I can just have the system automatically archive them. So yeah, this is another kind of included solution of the platform that is 100% customizable with how you folks work with both clients as well as for prospects. This is huge. I definitely see a lot of firms adapting this custom pipeline into their process. Starting with prospects all the way down to clients. You can really come out here and set up some really nice flows, especially when you're starting to, establish more than one solution of PreciseFP. It just makes sense to have that nice, efficiency and effectiveness working for you. So you don't have to, come into the office every day and say, did I send that form out to so-and-so? Did I convert that person from being a prospect to a client? The system can really do that for you. So you can come out here and you can add stages out here. You can add a bunch of flows within a stage. So there's a lot that you can do here. I don't want to dive into this too much. If you're curious about any of our actual solutions that I talk about, highly recommend checking out our website. I'll post a link to that at the end, but I go over each one of these kind of solutions individually to show how you can set each of these up. Now, another thing that I wanted to just kind of talk about with this engaged kind of step of this process is really tailoring and personalizing messages. I think that's so important. And the nice thing about PreciseFP is it allows you to really go out there and do just that. So like with your form templates, for example, you can come out here and I'll just click on one of mine just so you can see. But when you go into the editor of your template, you actually have this spot for emails, and there's 3 emails that can actually accompany the form. The first one is the new engagement email. When you engage them out of PreciseFP, you can set up periodic email reminders to go out. So those would go out whenever you want. You can choose the period of time that you want them to go out. And then you can also set up a thank you email, which goes out the moment that they complete the form. So to talk about these a little bit further, these are a great way to tailor and personalize your messaging out to your clients. So we have default messages just to kind of, give you a starting point, give you some inspiration. But I have seen a lot of advisors really come out here and customize these. Take, for example, the thank you email. This one is really popular with firms. I see a lot of them enable the thank you email on their forms with clear next step instructions for their client, especially when they plan on using PreciseFP to really kind of send out a lot of forms to their clients and prospects. So they'll kind of put like maybe bullet points out here. It says, okay, now expect, form X to go out to you. Expect, I don't know, maybe a phone call from my assistant, and put the assistant's name out there. Basically just kind of laying out step-by-step instructions for them when they complete the form. So that's something that you can do too. And you can make use of the macros that we have in here too, which will pull in their name. That way you don't have to customize this every single time you send this out to somebody, because trying to save you as much time as we can, make your process efficient. Doing things like with the macros, it really helps with that. So even if you sent this form out to 100 people, this client name macro is going to pull in the person's name of who is receiving that form. So there's a lot that you can pull in out here, really just kind of alleviates the form looking very generic. It looks like you took the time to go out there and create that nice personalized note to them. Another way to personalize your messaging is through what we call pop-up messages. These are really great because you can actually create like a little pop-up message on the page to really kind of bring to their attention maybe special things. Like if you've got a page that has maybe, I don't know, upload fields on it, maybe put a little note here that says, oh, don't forget to upload your statements, or don't forget to upload your driver's license, or something like that. Just a really nice little message. And you can use the macro that'll pull in their name too. So it says maybe something like, hi client, don't forget to upload your statement, something like that. Just to kind of show you here, and I'll do a preview of it just so you can kind of see where the position of that is on the page and what it looks like. It would be right here. So obviously that's just my image that I have out here. Your image would be there, or your logo, whatever you have uploaded, and their name would populate there. So again, just a nice little personalized touch. And when you're using the macros, again, it's going to pull in whoever's name is the recipient. So little things like that, again, that really just add that nice personalization. And you can do that throughout the form too. Like if you wanted on your welcome page to create like a nice messaging here, you could create a text box that says, hi, client first name, something like that. Maybe give them specialized instructions, maybe give them a little brief explanation of the form, maybe provide them instructions on how to, I've seen advisors provide instructions on how to navigate in the form, like, click the start button to start, and then you'll see previous and backwards and next. And I've also seen advisors let them know that the form auto saves so that the clients don't have to look for a save button. So just something like that, like you create some nice specialized text out there. You only have to do it once on the template, and then every time you send this out, it would be the same messaging on the form. Yeah, including calls to action to encourage next steps and conversion. I put that on my bullet list here on my notes. That's something that I see a lot of advisors do, just to kind of, again, to explain that a little more. I've seen kind of going back to that like thank you message, where if you have maybe a next form that is scheduled to go out in sequence, just let maybe the client know on either like their thank you page or maybe the thank you email that goes out to, say, just kind of prepare them to expect what is going to be happening next. Especially because I see a lot of advisors who have a lot of steps to their process, which is pretty common. I'm not knocking that in any way, shape, or form. But I think just kind of keeping your clients in the loop is key. Because I know with me, my husband and I bought a house a while ago. We kind of were out of the loop in some cases, and it was very frustrating as the client, really not knowing where I was in kind of the paperwork sequence, I guess you could say. So that, doing little things like that would have helped us. If there was some kind of follow-up email that says, okay, we got this, here is what to expect next, that even those few little sentences go a long way. So I think just kind of, driving that message home of putting and taking the time to really personalize messaging around kind of your process is definitely creates a big impact with your clients. So that's definitely what I would recommend doing. So hopefully that gives you some inspiration to do that. So next, delight. One of I would say the hallmarks of successful businesses is their ability to not only win new customers. I mean, that's huge, but I think also too is to keep your existing clients happy. Customer acquisition, it's 5 times more expensive than retention. So keeping your customers happy, how do you do that? How do you do that in PreciseFP? I think, one thing is to really kind of know how they're feeling. We have in our library, if you've kind of gone out here and explored, we have a satisfaction survey that we see a lot of advisors use for just that. How do you ensure your customers are happy? How do you ensure your clients are happy? You got to know how they're feeling. How are you going to know that how they're feeling? If you maybe send out, a survey to kind of pull them and see what, they may have been happy about, what they're not happy about, maybe open up for them to do free text so that they can give you comments. Well, that's what this actual form does here, the satisfaction survey. So this is something that is included in the cost. I've seen advisors use this as is. I've seen advisors customize this, maybe add some additional questions. But I think this is great, and you can even make this a part of your automatic workflow too. I've seen advisors do that. They've got like a survey stage in their pipeline. And part of it is, maybe after 30 days, they have the satisfaction survey go out, or maybe 10 days or what have you. And this goes out to them. And they can really kind of give you that feedback that if, maybe you need to improve upon. It also allows them to kind of, have that box of free text to allow them to go out there and really type any comments or concerns that they may have, or if you want to open it up and say, what are some ways that we could improve, something like that. I think this is a great way to do that, to really kind of keep existing clients happy, is to allow them the ability to kind of report on you, if you will, give you a report, because it's great to know if you're lacking somewhere. This can, hopefully they'll be honest and tell you, and you can kind of build upon that and get their feedback. Another thing is to really kind of check in with them. A lot of times what I see and what I hear firms do, like when I meet with new firms and I'm getting them onboarded onto PreciseFP, I always ask people what their process is. And later on, if we do like a follow-up, maybe they want to get on another call or what have you, I always like to know, like, what do you do with existing clients? Like after you've gone through and you've done the whole process, right? You've gotten the fact finder, you've done the risk tolerance, you've done all of that. What do you do? I mean, you may do your annual reviews, but what else can you use PreciseFP for after you've done all this, right? Well, this is where this content, this other content that we have out here, really comes in handy to do that, to keep existing clients engaged throughout the year. There was, I forget the study, but there was like a study that says, you really need to touch on your clients anywhere from 12 to 18 times a year to keep them engaged, to keep them up to speed, and to keep them happy, and to keep them delighted. So we've built some continuous engagement pieces in the library. I've even seen some advisors go out and build out their own, especially those who like have a certain niche of clients. Like I've got some advisors who work with nurses in their state, and they've got just really their whole process is just customized head to toe with their niche of clients, right? So like their lead gen has imagery of nurses, and they've got specific like 401k plans. So they change up the fact finder that says, nurses 401k or whatever it is. Just little things like that can really go a long way. And even beyond that, just kind of continuing to use the platform that you have here at PreciseFP with existing clients too. I think that's key. One way is definitely annual reviews. We have a lot of advisors who use PreciseFP for reviews, especially with a lot of our integration partners being bi-directional. What they'll do is they'll do an import in from like their CRM or financial planning software, and then send out something like the fact finder. And what happens there is that the data that came in, it's really their most recent snapshot of data. And then what happens is it pre-populates into something like the fact finder that the advisor has for their client, making less work for their client. They can go through, they can review the information that's on file. The client can make adjustments to it, add new data, and then the advisor can push that back over into his or her CRM and financial planning software. But in addition to that, because that's either once or twice a year, In addition to that, what I also see advisors do is I'll see them maybe send out something like the financial goals form. This is pretty popular, kind of continuous engagement. Maybe send this out at the beginning or maybe the end of the year just to kind of prepare for what their upcoming goals are. So this is one that I would maybe recommend for that. Another one is, let me show you here, let me close out of this. This one here, this tax planning questionnaire, I see a lot of advisors use this for kind of end of year tax planning. Very simple, but it definitely gets the job done, packs a punch for you. So this is another really great one. The risk tolerance. I see people use this on a yearly basis because a lot of times, sometimes, a lot of times, clients' appetite for risk changes. So maybe sending out the risk tolerance once a year just to kind of see where they're at, see if things have changed. Other ones, a budget worksheet. This is another template that we have that's relatively new to the library that you can send out to your client. They really kind of enter in all of their figures here, and at the end it creates this nice, easy to digest kind of cash flow summary and spending overview visualization so they can kind of see where they're at. You can see where they're at and you can kind of have those conversations with them. Other ones that are really popular, this free investment portfolio one. This is a relatively new one that we have that we launched into the library. So this is another one that you can come out here and use, this tax return filing organizer. This one is another new one that we have in the library that you can certainly customize and use. Maybe vacation budget planning, that's another one that's new. So just as you can see, there's a lot of different variation out here. And as I mentioned earlier too, we're going to be working on building more content, but you can certainly come out here. This one shows you how you can definitely change the colors, try to make it sort of like beachy vibes there for a vacation. So yeah, I just, again, with this, I really just wanted to kind of highlight the different aspects of PreciseFP that when people are just kind of getting started, I know it can kind of be overwhelming to try to implement new tech into your system, but I wanted to really kind of showcase all of the different things that PreciseFP has right at your fingertips. So I will go ahead and wrap up here. I really hope that gave you some inspiration, some ideas to really kind of take PreciseFP and maybe take your firm to the kind of the next level when it comes to data gathering. With that, we do have some time. I didn't see any questions that came up while I was presenting, but I will go ahead and just pause for a moment or two to let you type in any questions that may have come up. And we can kind of go over those. So I'll go ahead and pause just a moment. All right, well, I didn't see any questions come up, so we will go ahead and wrap the webinar there. First, I want to just thank you all so much for taking time out of your Tuesday to join me today. Hopefully that gave you some inspiration to implement some new solutions of PreciseFP into your business, help you become more efficient. Some resources for you here. Our website is packed full of resources for you. A link to our webinars page is definitely something I would check out. I do webinars throughout the week. We've got recorded ones. I've got a link to our YouTube channel here, but there's also a link to it from that webinars page. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns after we end, you can send us an email. You can also reach us on our live chat, which is on our website, or if you are a user, you can actually access that right on the dashboard. So you just click on the green chat icon in the lower right-hand corner. Myself, my team, we're there Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time. Always happy to help. Let us know if anything comes up. Again, thank you all so much for attending today. I hope everyone has a great afternoon. Stay safe.